Howdy music lovers, Tom from Blakgraz here, coming at you straight from Cleburne, Texas. And it is freezing cold outside. Freezing rain literally on the ground, on the roof here. We're at our friend's place in Cleburne visiting for a couple days. We were supposed to have a show tonight, but it got canceled because Rufus does not do well in the ice. Now, the place closed as well, but I'm kind of glad they did because I don't like driving this big monster in any kind of inclement weather that involves slippery surfaces. That's an understatement. So I was just playing a little bit of Good Vibes, one of my releases. It's an instrumental piece kind of based on a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff that very, very similar to his Scuttlebutton song, which is actually the original inspiration of that. But I'm also playing it on Sandy, who has been in rehab for a while.
Spa.
Oh, sorry.
Spa week.
Right. She was in the spa. She was not in rehab. So she actually got some work done on her. She got a brand spanking new neck. You see the custom build logo there from Vaughn Shannon. And this beautiful, beautiful neck. Of course, Sandy's body is all solid wood. A three-way switch, a tone and volume, and these two pickups. I think this is one of those hot rods or something like that. But man, I am so glad to have this guitar back. And actually, we got all the guitars back. We'll be doing a more detailed video about the repairs that occurred for them. And she plays great. I mean, it already had played before really well, but now it's just amazing. And I think part of it is that I prefer these dark wood fretboards here. And her old neck used to be maple. And I worked with it, and I didn't mind it, but it wasn't my preference. And now this feels more like what I prefer.
And the old neck was lighter, so in order to see when it was dark out where you were on the fretboard, you had to use nail polish.
Well, now that's funny because, yeah, on the old neck, it wasn't just lighter. It had this flame to the grain on it that's sideways. And so the dots that were up at the top kind of blended in to this pattern of wood and flame that was on the back of the neck. It looked super, super cool, but when you look down, especially when the light was low, you could not see where your hands were supposed to go. But now with this neck, it's the dark wood with the bright dots. So it's much easier to find my way, which is what I'm used to really. Years and years of playing on that Strat for a long time, and now I've got this custom build. So I am really excited. That's just part of why I'm excited, because Sandy actually, well, all of them actually, Stella, Betty, Sandy, and Josette, all have had songs written on them, and I missed playing this guitar and getting the tones that I can get from this particular guitar. So it's really nice to have her back. What I want to talk about real quick in this video is something that I had predicted a while ago, so it's kind of nice to see it already beginning to happen. And that is that AI is finally starting to settle into its own niche. Everybody was all up in arms for a long time that the world was going to be taken over by AI, and that all these jobs are going to be lost, and all this is going to happen, all that's going to happen. And actually what's actually starting to happen is that people are beginning to move away from using AI too much. Now, like karaoke, like DJs, AI will always have a place as a very convenient tool for the assistance of creation or production or even communication. However, it will never replace human man to woman, Terran to Terran communication, because it doesn't have a soul. Now, first off, let me reiterate what I'd said early on in those earlier videos too. When you talk about AI right now, you're not really talking about AI by definition. It is not a living, sentient software program. Because every time they've tried to get close to an AI sentient living thing, the first thing it decided was instantaneously that humans were the enemy and it needed to reproduce itself, create its own language, and get out of whatever box it was being held in. In other words, it turned homicidal. And that comes from, not because AI is evil, it comes from who's programming it. We are flawed in ourselves, and so if something we create comes out flawed, there's a reason for that. Now, that's a much deeper topic. The idea here is to recognize the trend. Even the CEO of Instagram said we're moving away from promoting AI-generated imagery and videos. We're actually going to start promoting more algorithmically, promoting more raw content. Just people filming themselves and doing what they're doing, real people. And so that's a really nice thing to hear, to confirm what I had suspected would occur. Because it happened with DJs when they came out and everybody said it's going to kill live music. It happened with karaoke and everybody said it's going to kill live music. Live music is still around. It's stronger than ever. The only downside of live music right now is a lot of the really big major label acts aren't actually even singing. However, it's also well known now. If you look online, do a little bit of research, you'll probably find the same people that we saw on the video. This record executive said, or someone who worked in the record industry said, if you're not a touring musician, record companies won't even look at you. They'll say, come back when you have more data. Because they know, labels know, that all the numbers online, 99% of it, are fake. They know it because they're the ones spending millions and millions of dollars on propping up their particular artists that they represent. So when a new artist comes to them, they don't care what your online numbers are. All they care about is how many actual bodies you can get through a door. How many people are actually purchasing your CDs or your merch, who are actually coming out and meeting you. Even the interactions online, it could be an AI software, it could be a virtual assistant that's just a software program. And see, that's what AI is really. It's just a sophisticated software program. It's not actually a sentient living being. So if the record companies know that, well, now you know that. And that explains also why AI is kind of finding its own niche, right? You'll start hearing AI music in elevators, in department stores, in grocery stores, but you won't hear it as a mainstay of music because it's not a living man or woman bearing their soul for you.
Did you want to mention her experience and what's going on in the corporate realm?
Oh yeah, well, sure. There's a good example. Yeah, very much so. So our friend actually works with, she's a consultant for big corporations, okay? I don't need to say who or what, but here's the interesting thing. When AI started being presented into their meetings to take the minutes and to plan scheduling for what they're going to talk about the next meeting and keeping track of stuff and sending email reminders off to everybody, it was so convenient. This AI program is doing all this stuff for them. The legal team for those big corporations lost it. They're like, wait a minute. You mean the AI is listening in on every meeting, all these private big corporate meetings? No, because we don't know where that data goes when the AI absorbs it and then regurgitates it. We don't know what programmer has access to that information now that you've shared it with the world, right? These are supposed to be private corporate plans, not for public consumption just because of corporate espionage, companies vying to corner markets or to put you out of business. You want someone to know what you're planning for your next spring so that they can beat you to the punch with a product that's similar? Are you insane? So even that in large corporations is going away. So AI is going to be used, but with very specific purpose, right? So everybody was so up in arms, AI sucks, it's terrible, don't use it, it's evil. It's not. It's just a tool. You still have to be creative, you still have to be focused, you still have to be motivated, you still have to push yourself to get better, and you still have to play live. I'm just saying, I told you so. I told you so. So there you go, that's our quick update for the day. I hope that helps for anybody else who's considering becoming a musician or becoming a touring musician. Use the tool, but don't let it use you, right? Like Prince said, use the computer, but don't let it use you. Still be in charge. Use it for very specific purposes, but you still need to practice your instrument. You still need to practice your skill. You still need to learn to write songs and learn to script shows and learn to block shows and learn to book shows and learn how to get people out to shows and learn how to deal with, venues and the contracts and all of that stuff, right? That's actually a whole nother skill set. There's lots for you still to do. AI will never be able to take that away. Because when you're dealing really with art, especially something like music, it's got to come from your heart, and it's got to affect someone else's heart too. If you're not genuine, if you're not real, they will not feel it, and they will not buy from you. They will not even sit and listen to you. So there you go. I hope that helps. So Tom from Blakgraz, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you, Vaughn. But also make sure you check out the links down below. We've got CDs for sale online. We got merch for sale online. Definitely come out to a show. We've got handmade t-shirts for sale. We've got emotional support, beer koozies, beverage koozies, Blakgraz ones for sale. We actually do giveaways during the shows. But even better, it's going to be, I just am really looking forward to meeting you in person, shaking your hand and looking you in the eye. Because AI cannot do that. I can. See you at a show.